How many satellites presently? All countries orbit the world.
So we have three strategic, I've laid out three strategic trends in space. We say that space is congested, it's contested, and it's competitive. And I would say those trends are, and each one of those trends are, they're trending upwards. So on the congestion side, today, how many people have seen the movie Gravity? It's a little far-fetched, but the part that is kind of true in that is there's debris. Probably not to the scale or level that they've played in that movie, but there's debris. So today, how many objects do you think we track in space? Everybody take a guess. 23,000 objects. And we can track about something about the size of a softball. And so 23,000 objects the size of a softball are great. It's about, we think there's about 500,000 objects below the size of a softball that are also up there. Those objects in low Earth orbit, about 100 miles up where the International Space Station is, are traveling 17,500 miles an hour. They orbit around the Earth every 90 minutes. And so we work very hard. We act as the space traffic control for the world because we want to keep the domain safe for all. So 23,000 objects that are in space, of those 23,000 objects, approximately 1,400 of them are satellites. And out of those 1,400 satellites, about 75% of those can maneuver. And so on our warning, we do on every object in space against every other object in space, we do analysis to make sure things don't collide. And when we see something that's about to collide, we make notifications to the world, to the world space operators and say, hey, your satellite's about to hit something, recommend you move. And we do that because we don't want it, we do not want to increase debris, which would impact our ability to operate the domain. And so 1,400 satellites, the long answer to 1,400 satellites, about once every 3 days on average, a satellite maneuvers to keep from hitting something. And about 3 times a year, the International Space Station maneuvers to keep from hitting a piece of debris as well.
And a ballpark, if you're able to say, how many military satellites?
I operate in the Air Force Base Command just over about 80. The largest constellation we have is the GPS constellation that has 31 satellites.
And how small are some of these satellites now today?
Great question.
Give us an example.
Great question.
Because where it's headed in the future and the amount of different satellites and points, it's just incredible what they're planning.
It really is. There's something called CubeSats. And a CubeSat is about the size of it's 10 centimeter cube. In 2014 or 15, don't quote me on the exact number, I'm going to give you an approximate. There's about 150 of those satellites on orbit. Again, something that big going that fast can hurt. And so we want to keep that domain safe, and something that big is also a little bit tougher to track. The projections are over the next few years, the numbers of those satellites are going to be in the thousands. There was just a launch this year, as of yesterday. I don't know if there was a launch worldwide today. I've been kind of busy doing these events, but this year, or as of yesterday, this year we've launched worldwide 87 launches across the world. 10, 15 years ago, the numbers were down in the 50s. What's different though, although that number has increased, what's different is the numbers of satellites on each rocket are going up. So India just had a launch earlier this year where they had 104 satellites. How many people go to baseball games? And you see remember the folks out on the field take the t-shirt shooters and shoot t-shirts up in the crowd? Well, you can kind of picture out of the International Space Station a very high-tech t-shirt shooter, and they shoot out flots in these little CubeSats. There was a Cornell student a few years ago that was doing his master's or PhD, and he had a cylinder that had, don't quote me on the numbers, like 180 something satellites in it, and they were called chipsats. They were about a third of the size of a credit card. And luckily for me, unlucky for him, he probably didn't get a great grade. When it launched, the cylinder didn't open, so we only had to track one object, not 185.